All right, it's again my pleasure to welcome all of you here and just give you some thoughts as we get started, just brief thoughts. This is our 6th annual conference. We started back in 2013. It's hard to believe that we've gone this many years. We've had many wonderful speakers in this conference. As we've gotten feedback from those who have attended, has helped many people to come to greater understanding, to develop love and empathy, to heal families, to heal people who have been separated. So we're grateful to be a part of this and grateful that you've all come. We started the All Arizona group about 6 years ago. My oldest son had this idea when he came back from BYU. He's gay, served a mission, went to BYU and graduated, and when he came back to Arizona, he thought, we need to have some kind of support or social group. And so, along with some other people, we started this group. The first meeting, we had 10 people meet in our house. We just sat around the table and ate pizza and had a good conversation. And everyone who came to our house got a big hug. Today our group numbers 698. We're just too shy of 700. And I think after today we might probably surpass that mark. In many ways, we're like a big family. When people ask, what is All Arizona? I think of it as kind of a big family. We're made up of a diverse group of people. We do have in common, most of us that were of an LDS heritage, either currently Mormon or raised in the Mormon faith, and that were LGBT or family and friends of LGBT people. But the one thing that holds us together, despite our diversity and our differences and the different paths we may choose in life, is that we love and we support each other. All Arizona is not intended to be a substitute for the church, so we don't teach doctrine or we don't judge worthiness. That's not our place. We simply try to love as the Savior loves. And the name All Arizona, all came from the scripture in 2 Nephi 26:33, where it says, and he inviteth them all to come unto him and partake of his goodness, and all are alike unto God. One of the reasons that we do this conference is actually been is embodied in the words that Elder Ballard spoke just last November in a BYU devotional, in which the church has featured numerous times on LDS.org. In that conference, or in that devotional address, Elder Ballard said, we need to listen to and understand what our LGBT brothers and sisters are feeling and experiencing. Certainly, we must do better than we have done in the past, so that all members feel they have a spiritual home. And he assured our LGBT brothers and sisters they have a place in the church. That's the same thing that we've tried to emphasize as our objective in All Arizona. Whatever a person's desire or place is in the church, whether they want to participate or not, we at least want them to know that there are Mormon people who love and accept them. All right, so with that out of the way, I want to do a couple housekeeping things, and then I'll introduce the rest of our first session. Well, actually, one quick thing. Today you might hear a diversity of opinions. As I just mentioned, one of the strengths of all is that we love and accept each other like a family. And in families, sometimes you have people that we don't always agree, right? But what is a family if we can't love and accept each other? So you may hear opinions that you don't, or that you differ with, or you may hear things that you agree with. But whatever you hear, just know that the people are expressing their experience and the feelings of their heart. And I would ask that we just all have open hearts and a desire to understand and love as the Savior did. So with that, a couple housekeeping things. Notice there is a sign up above the door here on your left with a phone number. At the end of the entire conference, we're going to bring all of the speakers up on stage for a question and answer period. So if you have questions that you would like to ask of the panel or any particular speaker, you can text them to that number. Second, bathrooms are all the way down the hall. When you go out, just go to your right, and the bathrooms are at that end. And third, I want to introduce Reed Gluckner. Reed, can you raise your hand back there? He's an artist visiting us from Utah, and he exhibits in galleries in Utah, and he has been generous enough to donate a number of paintings in silent auction. So there are bid sheets and his paintings, some of his paintings on display there, that if you would like to bid, any proceeds that if they meet the minimum bid will go to All Arizona to help offset the cost of this conference. All right, so let me introduce our speakers for the rest of this session. First up will be Nathan Kitchen. He's a dentist, a father. He's held many leadership positions in the church. He's a very talented writer who has a blog that I love to read. And he's a fabulous singer. And he's gay. I'm grateful, most of all, to be able to call him a friend. After Nathan, we'll hear from Wendy Montgomery. My wife and I met Wendy and her husband Tom not long after their son came out at age 13, about 4 or 5 years ago, when we thought we were the only parents in the church who had gay kids. So it was kind of fun to meet someone else, finally. Wendy has become a very vocal advocate for LGBT kids in the church and is known nationally for her work and advocacy, and is often featured in articles and news interviews. We're grateful to have her and her husband Tom here, and I'm grateful to call them both good friends as well. Then we'll be favored to hear a musical number by Chad Miller, who will be singing Glorious, which was made popular by David Archuleta a few years ago. As you might imagine, in our all group, we have a pretty high level of musical talent. And when Chad moved here from Utah a year ago, he upped that quotient quite a bit. Chad has sung in professional opera companies, has starred in musical theater productions, and we may be seeing more of that here now that he's in Arizona. He has quite an amazing story, which someday maybe he'll be able to share that with us. But for now, we'll be favored to hear him in song, and I'm grateful to call him friend as well. And then after that, our last speaker of this first session will be Sister Dr. Lisa Hansen, who will be, as I said, the final speaker of this opening session. She's a marriage and family therapist, and one of her specialties is counseling and working with LGBT youth and their families. She's provided counseling at BYU and currently heads the counseling service at Circle House in Provo, where she provides that free of charge. She's an active member of the church and sings in the Tabernacle Choir. And if you note in her bio, she actually composed the Nephi's Courage song, the children's songbook, the primary songbook. And she's a wonderful woman, and I'm glad to call her a friend as well. So with that, we'll get started. Nathan, you're up.